Alright, let's dive into something that's been making headlines and honestly, has me thinking about the bigger picture. So here's the deal, the US just carried out strikes on Iran, and it's not just another blip in the news cycle. Explosions were reported across southern Iran, places like Bushehr, Abu Musa, Qeshm Island, Ahwaz, and Qeshm Island. But what makes this really interesting is the context behind it all. This wasn't just a random act, it was a response to Iran's attempted missile attacks on US forces in the Middle East. Personally, I think this is a moment where we need to step back and ask, what does this mean for the region? For global stability? And more importantly, where does this escalation lead us? What many people don't realize is that this isn't just about the US and Iran. It's part of a larger, complex web of tensions in the Middle East. The US strikes targeted Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, sites, including military command centers, missile facilities, and coastal defense sites. From my perspective, this feels like a calculated move to neutralize threats, not just to US forces, but also to commercial shipping and neighboring Gulf countries. But here's the thing, when you strike back, you're not just sending a message, you're setting a precedent. This raises a deeper question. Are we looking at a new phase of conflict in the region, or is this a one-off retaliation? One thing that immediately stands out is the timing. Iran's initial attacks on US bases came just hours before the US strikes. Jordanian air defenses even shot down 5 Iranian missiles. It's like a game of chess, but with real-world consequences. In my opinion, this back and forth feels dangerously unpredictable. What this really suggests is that both sides are willing to escalate, and that's concerning. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about military might, it's about geopolitical posturing, about who holds the upper hand in a region that's already on edge. A detail I find fascinating is the mention of a residential area on Qeshm Island being hit by a US missile. This isn't just about military targets, it's about the human cost. Personally, I think this is where the narrative gets complicated. We're talking about strikes that could have unintended consequences, both on the ground and in terms of public perception. What does it say when civilian areas are caught in the crossfire? It's a reminder that these conflicts aren't just abstract, they affect real people, real lives. If we zoom out, this situation is part of a bigger trend of escalating tensions between the US and Iran. It's not just about yesterday's attacks or today's strikes, it's about years of mistrust, sanctions, and proxy conflicts. From my perspective, this feels like another chapter in a long-running saga. But what's different this time is the scale and the speed of the response. The US didn't hesitate to strike back, and that says something about the current administration's approach to foreign policy. Are we seeing a shift in how the US handles threats, or is this business as usual? Here's where I'll leave you with a thought, what happens next? Does this de-escalate, or are we on the brink of something bigger? Personally, I think this is a moment where diplomacy needs to step in, and fast. Because if it doesn't, we could be looking at a scenario where the entire region becomes even more volatile. What do you think? Is this a necessary response, or a dangerous escalation? Let me know in the comments below. Because, honestly, this is one of those moments where the world is watching and waiting.